Prince Harry's wife Meghan Markle is the first biracial divorcee ever to marry a member of the British royal family.
Their iconic marriage ceremony was blessed by Queen Elizabeth II and has made the monarchy appear more inclusive and relevant in an ever-changing world.
However, the California native is not the first American to charm a member of the royal family.
Meghan Markle must learn this marriage trick from Kate Middleton Maya Jama flashes bare breasts in racy, see-through look at BAFTAs. 2019 Baltimore-raised Wallis Simpson caused seismic rifts in the royal family, the establishment and the general public in Britain when her relationship to King Edward VIII started.
In 2017 documentary The Story of the Royals, author Laura Mayhall noted how the monarchy had a tacit agreement between the British press that intimate details of the monarch's life would not be covered. However, the American press was all over this story.
Drawing a parallel with Meghan Markle, King Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson's goddaughter Cornelia Guest added, "People were fascinated by him, and she in her own right had her own luggage, so people were fascinated by her and how she managed to bag the greatest bachelor in the world."
Despite the popularity she had at the time, particularly in the US, Mrs Simpson remains a controversial figure in British public.
The king's desire to marry a woman who had two living ex-husbands threatened to cause a constitutional crisis in the UK, and she was accused by many of being a social climber.
As Mrs Simpson was, at the time, Edward's mistress, royal author Andrew Morton said, "Wallis Simpson was a twice-divorced American from Baltimore, very practical person, quite tough."
By all accounts, she was something of a social climber and was very interested in making the acquaintance of Edward. There is a lot of very interesting speculation about the kind of psychosexual hold that she had on him. And because she was domineering, she feels the need that he had to be mothered. In the summer of 1936, only 6 months after his accession, Edward went against royal protocol and took an extended holiday in Greece and the Mediterranean with Mrs Simpson, against the advice of the government. Newspapers in Europe and the US published pictures of the couple and began questioning whether they would soon become engaged, but the British press maintained a self-imposed silence. In November 1936, Mrs Simpson filed for divorce from her husband, and American tabloids reported that a royal wedding was imminent. The king was warned that the effect of the wedding would be calamitous, but he forged ahead and informed Prime Minister Stanley Baldwin that he intended to marry his lover. Amid huge controversy, Edward signed his abdication note on December 10. Edward became HRH Prince Edward, Duke of Windsor, and left Britain for Austria.
He was not allowed to join Mrs Simpson, who had fled to France, until her divorce became final on May 3, 1937.
On June 3, 1937, Edward and Mrs Simpson were married in a private ceremony in Tours, France.
The king forbade any members of the royal family to attend the wedding, leading to tension between the brothers.